If you're looking to increase your peace of mind, you're in the wrong room. So, my name, like Linda said, thank you, Linda, is Ken Seawell. Joe, thank you for allowing me to talk. Kathy, thanks for the beautiful space. Annie, thank you for having me do this. I appreciate it. Yes, I've been with Sailor now for 15 years. I've had my own business longer than that. Joe, I found a piece of paper the other day that was a recommendation from Jane Flugler. Remember her?
Jane Flugel, yeah.
Recommended to join the chamber. It's dated 2003. Now, when was the last time you had to get endorsed to be a chamber member? That was a long time ago. So I don't know when I actually started with the chamber, but it's been a while. So today I want to spend a little bit of time talking about meaningful networking. And if you think about it, we do it all the time. But are we being strategic and intentional about it, and purposeful when we go out and talk to people? So today we're going to talk about a few things. One is what the success triangle with Sandler is all about, and then a little bit about attitude when it comes to networking, behavior when it comes to networking, and technique when it comes to networking. Cool? Along the way, ask questions at the end. I would recommend that you write down, if you brought anything, you write down. You like one of them fancy millennials, Joe, you type it in your computer. John, you're old, so you put it on a piece of paper and a pencil.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so a couple hot lists, because like we tell all our people that there's a million things you could take away from something, but you're not going to do all of them. So do two, three. Okay? Ask questions along the way. I will make up the answer if I don't know. All right, Sandler is really about success in three areas: attitude, behavior, and technique. And this is what David Sandler created 67 years ago. And it's been in place since. And I think you want to think about making sure you have a little bit of all of them, because if you have good attitude and good technique, that's great, but you don't have a plan. So you don't really know what you're supposed to be doing about behavior. If you have good behavior and good technique, sometimes your attitude will waver, and sometimes you'll be like, yeah, I don't want to go out there and do that. Right? And if you have good behavior and good attitude, you might not be doing the right things or saying the right things. So they're connected. When we talk about attitude, I want you to think about, that's too fast. Attitude is your mindset, how you frame your mindset. Okay, it's what centers you. Some people have spirituality and religion, some people have meditation, walks in the park, exercise. But what do you do at 2 o'clock in the morning when you're wondering why you're on this planet? That's really what your mindset's about. Right? So Mark Twain said the two most important days are the day you were born and the day you figure out why. So have you figured out why you were born? All right. So I have a daughter named Esther. Sadly, that's the reason why I get up every day. Sadly, because she's a pain in my sadly. But that's why. And so when I feel out of sorts, I go back to that. And what I want you to think about with attitude, and actually the success triangle as a whole, is that it's a good way to problem solve. So if you take attitude, behavior, and technique to deal with a problem, you can. So let's talk about reframing your attitude when it comes to networking. So how many of you guys love to network? Okay, front row here. Throw a few people. All right, what I want you to do is I want you to think about networking differently. And so what I want you to do is think about reframing your mindset around why you don't like to network. Chris, I'm going to call you out. Why don't you like to network?
I'm an introvert.
Okay, so what do introverts not like to do?
Talk to people.
And what do introverts like to do?
Not talking.
That was not it. It was actually the right answer based on my question, but not either talk or listen. Oh my God, it's a tournament for you people. It is the summer, right? But, all right, so if you don't like to talk, you like to listen, then what do you do when you go to networking talk?
Listen.
You listen, but what do you have to do to listen? You have to ask questions. So if you, James, you can come sit in the front row here. So you can sit. What I want you to do is think about reframing your mindset around if you don't like to talk and you're good at listening, then ask good questions and shut up. But just listen, right? And so reframing the way you think about what you do is important because there are days, I'm going to say this and some of you will be dismayed, but some days I don't want to go to a networking group and talk, I just want to go stand in the corner. Anyone believe that?
No.
Wait, Kelly, you said you think I could be quiet?
You're sleeping.
I said I believed that. I agree with you.
I got some wind. So. But I want you to think about reframing it. So if you think about it like that, Chris, does it make it a little different going now?
It does.
And so the other thing is, why are you in this business? Okay, do I really need to ask an easier question? Why are you in business? To make money, right? How do you make money? We all do the same thing. We all sell, right? We all talk to people about services. We all talk to people about money, and we all exchange the two, right? So we don't do anything different. And I think we owe it to ourselves. We owe it to ourselves, our company, and our families to do our job. And so you have to reframe that. So when you get outside of yourself and thinking, I don't really want to go to that Ford networking event this week, you got to reframe it. Makes sense? So one of the things I want you to think about is the belief loop. So, Chris, I'm going to pick on you again. If you go through this thing, I don't like to go to networking events because I don't like to talk, that's your belief, right?
Sure.
Self-limiting. Would it be fair that we have self-limiting beliefs? Okay, some of that came from our mothers and fathers. Right? My dad used to say, if you have to ask for money, you don't deserve it. And I'm like, well, that's, I see a little bit of that, but I'm like, anybody going to pay me more money just because I'm looking at it? No. I have to ask, right? So you have to change the way you think about things. So what judgments, Chris, do you think you form about yourself if you don't like to talk to people at networking?
I'm not a good networker.
Not a good networker. Shy. Quiet. I'm boring as hell. And if those are the judgments you form about yourself, what actions do you take at networking events? I don't talk to people. Okay? I stand in the corner by the coffee machine. I eat all the donuts. And then what results do you get at those networking events?
No results.
And then how does that reinforce the belief? All right, so what you have to do is you change it. So if you say, I'm going to go to networking events and I'm going to ask good questions and just listen, what judgments do you form about yourself now?
I'm a good listener. I'm outgoing, starting conversations.
And how does that change your actions?
I'll talk to folks.
Engaging in more people, right? How does that change the result?
There will be more business, more opportunities, more networking.
And does that reinforce that I can go and do these things?
It does.
I really think we have to change those belief systems that are in our head that are self-limiting. Okay? And if you want me to, wrangle you some new beliefs, I'll be happy to. And I think it's all turns like this. So you can write this down. When I do something, then this will happen. So if you want to think about when I ask good questions, then I can have good conversations. So what's the only thing you have to do?
That's a good question.
Ask good questions. Right? So you change the way you believe about things. Right? The second thing I want you to think about is this concept in Seawell we call identity versus role. If I gave you $100 bill, I don't know if that okay, let's say I'm going to borrow. Where's Lindsay? I'm going to borrow a couple of $100 bills. If I gave everybody a $100 bill, would you take it? No strings attached, Kathy. Don't get all excited. No strings attached. Would you take it? Okay. If I took that $100 bill and I crumpled it up and stepped on it and I handed it to you, would you take it?
Sure.
If I dragged it through the mud, would you take it? Why? It still has the same value, right? So why do you not have the same level of self-esteem whether you're crisp and clean, crumpled up and eaten up, or dragged through the mud? It's the same. I'm sorry, I speak clearly. I'm Southern here. I also mumble, so. Your identity is the same, right? That's what I want you to do. Your identity drives role performance. So the roles that you play in life are going to change. Daniel, how long have you been a father?
9 years.
All right, so 9 years before that you weren't. And now you have a new role as a father. I can ask him that because I know him. It wasn't I just picked it out. He was just a dude up there with the boat. There's going to be some roles that you might play in the future. Got to help those kids become married and all, then you're going to be a grandfather, right? And there are going to be roles that you no longer play. I'm no longer a swimmer. I can swim, but I'm not doing it competitively, right? And so roles change, but your identity doesn't. So you should always be a 10. You are born a 10, you're going to die a 10. Layla, you're a 10 right now. Everybody's a 10 right now. Right? Don't let that affect it. And that drives your performance. If you walk into a room and say, I'm a 10, what's the worst thing that'll happen to you? Nothing. Then just do your job. Talk. I have 2 rational fears in life. Anybody want to know what they are?
Mm-hmm.
Some people, does anyone know what they are besides me? Okay, some people have heard of it before. What's number 1?
Public speaking.
No.
Failure.
Death. That's rational, right? We all can be scared of death, right? Number 2 is dismemberment. All right, I got to tell a story. So, I don't have any bodies buried in my basement or in my freezer, so don't freak out. But, my friend Sarah rescues dogs with the Detroit Dog Rescue and does foster. She had this crazy dog named Joey that bit my finger and pulled the nail pad off the back and had 3 pins and 30 stitches and missed a month of work. And I'm like, so if no one dismembers any part of your body and you don't die, what's the worst thing happen? Nothing. You got your feelings hurt, John. Suck it up, cupcake. And I think we have to recognize that some people are going to want to have a conversation with you, some people are not going to have a conversation with you. Who cares? Because who's that about? Them, not about you. Chris, you didn't go up there and do anything wrong. You just didn't want to talk to you. So reframe your mindset, reframe your attitude. Second thing is behavior, okay? So do you go into a networking event with a plan? Or do you just show up? You just get out of bed and say, I'm going to this event without even understanding why you're going. I came to this event because I had to talk, because you guys made me talk. No, Ian actually twisted my arm. He didn't, Ian. So one thing I want you to think about is, do you have a cookbook? So that's a Sandler term for recipe, for success, which is our term for prospecting plans. So do you have a prospecting plan? Rachel, right?
Yeah.
So Rachel is already hitting on me. Nah, please, I said Let me rephrase that from a good friend, Rachel. She said, hey, you want to go over to the bank, got $500 put in my account. I'm like, all right, go do that's what you're supposed to do. But do you have a plan? Because Rachel, how many people do you want to have getting a bank account? What's the bank's plan? I don't know, maybe you don't know, but.
As much as we can.
Yeah, but if you know you have to meet X number of people every day, do you know what that number is? I know what my number is. Right? And so when you go to a networking event, are you sitting there saying, I'm going to meet 3 people and have 3 names in my phone numbers with a scheduled call for the future? That make sense? Now you have a plan. That's part of your cook. Questions? Cost anybody? Alright, so I want you to think about, do you have a plan? Because when I go to a networking event, I think about who are the 3 people I want to get. Now I don't know who they are until I get there. But when you do the circle and everyone says what they're doing, that can't. And try to get 3 names in my phone because now I have 3 conversations scheduled for sometime later in the future, whether it's tomorrow or next week. Right? The other thing is, do you have a good 30-second commercial? John, what's one thing you do really well?
Listen.
In your job. And hey, you don't do that very well.
Solve people's problems.
Okay, give me a real, what is the problem that you solve?
Save their data from cyber attack.
So what I want you to do is think the 30-second commercial is probably not relevant in networking because it's long, right? And John's like, say, my name's John Iceberg, I'm with IT, is any of that relevant? And so it can be long. So you can say, someone goes up to John and says, what do you do? He says, you know how people have are really scared about having attacks for cyber security? I help with that. Someone will look at John and go, I need that. And then you might say, well, this is the wrong. I will not make any noise. You have your phone, John? Why don't we put 10 minutes in our phone for Tuesday? Talk about that. The first one. And so I think if you have one thing that you do really well, make that your 10-second commercial. So this is what it is, 4 parts. Write this down. First one, do you know how? And then whoever your target market is. So John, who's your target?
Business owners, small business owners don't have market presence.
And then your thing is you can help them with cyber attacks, right?
Yes.
Tech for cyber. So so the second thing is the market, the third thing is the pain statement, that one thing is going to do well, fourth thing of these 4 words I help them. So if John said, what do? I'd say, I work, do you know how business owners struggle and are afraid that their business is susceptible to cyber attacks? I help them. Now, if he wanted to talk about that, he'd say, really, tell me more. If he says, great, see you later. I gotta go talk to somebody else. Well, he's not interested, right? But if I sense he's interested, I go, hey, John, you got your phone, why don't we find some time to talk? And even if you don't want to do it then, and you get the hemming and the hawing, and you feel like he's backtracking away from it, you say, hey, not bad, no big deal, we won't do it. Okay? But you're saying what you do. So what I want you guys to think about is what's the one thing you do really, really well that you can put into that 4-step process? Make sense? Anybody need elaboration on that? Is that clear? Because this is behavior. Every day I do my behaviors. I do 65 email dials a week, 30 emails and 30 links every week. Been doing that for 15 years. That's all I do. First thing I do is prospect, second thing I do is take a nap, third thing I do is train, coach, and go meetings. Yeah, you guys laugh about the nap. I take it. I don't want to take it second. There'll be one later today. And then the third thing is that technique piece, right? And this is the same methodology. So it has 7 steps: communication, upfront, contract is part of the engagement of a client, paying, investment, and decision maker are part of the qualifying process. And then the last 2 are closing, presentation, presenting the solution to post. I only want to talk about the light blue because that's the only thing you need to manage in the network. So bonding and rapport is important. People don't do business with people unless they like them, or people that are like themselves. That's why Layla and I never talk to each other because she doesn't like them. But she's been very clear about this. My need for approval is low. Just
Throw me under the bus.
huh?
Every time you throw me under the bus.
You know, okay, so here's the rule. Here's the deal. If I like you, I pick on you. if I don't like you, I don't talk about you. That's why I don't talk about Joe very often.
You laugh. Yeah.
I'm out of the sync. But in there are some questioning strategies and some questions you can ask. So write this down. There's usually four questions you can ask that get the ball started. So, what you say is, how did you get where you are? Christina, what did I ask you first? Do you remember? That's all right, I put you on the spot.
I think that's why I was here.
Yeah, and then I said, how did I ask you what you did for a living? That's all right. I said, what do you do? I said, what do you do during the day?
Oh, yeah, it's good.
So stop saying, what's your job? What line of work are you in? What do you do during the day? Do something different. Question number one. Number two, how'd you get there? How'd you get to that job? Well, maybe there's 5 questions. I'm making them up as I go. Number three is what's new and exciting. We got tariffs, we got wars, we got interest rates, we got all kinds of things that could affect what you do that are happening right now. Right? Number four would be what's future success look like? And number five, which I think is the best one, is what's getting in your way of your future success? What roadblocks are in the way? So if I had continued that conversation with Christina, she told me about her intern. Well, tell me more about your intern. Why do you have an intern? What are you trying to get him to do? What do you wanted to do for the future? What's getting in the way? Maybe somewhere down the road. But she already told me he didn't show up, so that's one of them, right? Is he here?
No.
Okay, good.
No,
No, it's bad. It's bad, but it's good I didn't know. It's very bad. But yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
But my point here is I may have learned something that would have been worth me having a conversation with Christina afterwards, just by having that conversation. Yeah, maybe not. But get good at asking questions, and those are great questions. The other set of questions you might ask, so those are more professional. On a personal level, I might ask, well, where are you from? Where'd you go to school? Oh my God, Annie blathered on and on this morning about me going to Florida State. Blathered. Didn't you?
I did.
She did. So that would be the second question. Number three, be careful. Some people get offended. I would say, so are you married? No, I've been divorced 6 times. What do you ask? I mean, it might say something like, and that is not true. I'm divorced, but not 6. Yeah, 4, not 6. I might say, do you have a family? I might say something like that, right? Careful, be careful. I don't really want to get offended. And the last question is, what do you do for fun? What's your hobbies? Because what do people like to do? At networking events.
Talk.
About themselves. It's really easy, Chris. You don't got to do anything. You just got to listen. Right?
Good
And I
question.
think in the point of asking these questions, you start to learn things that help you strategically, intentionally figure out if this is someone that's worth talking to. Now, everybody's worth talking to. Right, let's get that straight. But whether there's a connection business-wise might not make any sense. Right? And that's okay. I mean, there's how many people here? 25, give or take? You think all 25 people want to buy sales training from you? No. Really? Nobody? And that's okay. Because I don't come here to I don't come here to sell anything. I come here to have conversations. So write this down. Success in Sandler is the activity, not the result. So I don't get up every morning and see how many people I'm going to get to buy my stuff. I just go, how many people am I going to talk to? Because I can't control anything other than that. At the end of the day, I can't control whether someone wants to buy what I sell or we can have a conversation about what I sell. But I can tell them. The other thing is the upfront contract. When you have a conversation with someone, it's okay to tell them they don't have to say yes if they don't want to talk. They don't have to continue to talk to you if they don't want to. How many times, how refreshing would that be if someone said that to you? Would you feel like, Tom, I don't want to talk to you, so don't talk to me. Oh wait, that's not the way I meant it, right? It was the other way around. No, I mean, how many times does that happen where you feel like you're talking to someone who doesn't want to talk to you? And you just look them in the eye and say, Joe, it's okay. I get the sense this is not your gig. You're off the hook. Go talk to somebody else. Not my gig. Do I need to close caption this?
The last word that drops.
I mean, closed caption is so at the house I'm saying, Sarah, turn on the closed caption so I can hear the movie. That was a joke. Turn on the closed caption so I can hear the movie.
You got it.
And then it wasn't funny? I told you to laugh.
Like, God,
I help you out.
That did not help me out, but thanks. So it's okay. I've had people come to me later and say, the reason I'm coming back to talk to you is because you didn't put any pressure on me when we talked the first time. It's okay. Cool. The other thing I want you to know is that you ever walk into a group and you're like, Annette, we were talking about this.
Shadia.
Shadia.
I was hoping you were not going to call on me because my name is very hard to pronounce.
Well, once I hear it, I'm okay. I have to read it. I can't read. But we were talking about how awkward it is to go to Neverland and all these little cliques of people. And sometimes it's 5 people from the same company. I'm like, hey, why are 5 people from the same company here? And B, why are y'all talking to each other? Right? But it's hard to break in. So what do you say from a technique standpoint to break into that conversation? What do you guys do? What are some of your best practices? John just walks up to people
You
and
listen
starts
to
talking.
what they're talking about, then you can just jump in if it's appropriate.
Yeah, you can do that. John just, hems his way right in the middle of it.
I just walk in.
So, a couple things. I might go up to Layla and Megan talking and say, you look like the cool people, can I join your group? Or I might come to a group and say, can I just hold it because I don't want anyone to see in here? What is anyone going to say? What are they going to say? Sure. Anyone going to say, oh, hell no, you cannot be part of my group. This isn't what we say, ladies.
High school.
High school. This isn't high school where they don't like you. Right? So if you be vulnerable. Being vulnerable is fun. Having some fun. Guts and humor goes a long way in so have some fun with this. Let's walk and say, Joe, you look like the cool kid. Yeah, I'm going to get to double chance. Right? The other thing I want you to recognize is that sometimes we are just too unassertive. According to me, and me alone, what's the most unassertive word in the English language? See who gets it. You bet that. Just guess. Throw them out there.
Maybe.
Maybe that's a good one. Not it. Try. Good. Not it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Can you send me a proposal? Okay. Can you lower your price? Okay. So we learn to be unassertive. I want you guys to be assertive. You have the same rights in the conversation as the other person. In a networking event, if they say hi to you, be assertive. And assertive is not aggressive, but assertive is confidence. You have the same right to have a conversation with someone. It's the next step. You have the right to say no to them. They have the right to say no to you. So just have the conversation. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But don't be unassertive. Don't be aggressive. John, you got to listen to what I say or else. So, no. Okay. My work here is done. All right, that was really it. I mean, I wanted to just go back and save some time for questions, but what did you guys write down on your hot list? Chris, you didn't write a darn thing down, did you? Joe, he's going to go back and say, what was our takeaways from today? Kelly.
Activity, not results.
Yeah.
Too many times we get disillusioned by making 10, 15 phone calls or going to 10 networking events and nothing happens. And so then we think this stuff doesn't work and I'm going to stop doing it, and you can't do that. You can't. You have to believe in your process. You hear it all the time. People say, trust the process, believe in the process, do your job. That's all I want you to do. It'll come around. I've lived it for 15 years, so it's happened every year, and I make a little bit more money every year. Good. Trust the process. Any other takeaways?
I love the question, what do I do well?
You do well, Andy.
It's changed over the decades since I've been working.
Okay, I don't care what you did when you're 5. What do you do?
Now it's I totally use my Irish charm to be of service to the chamber members.
Okay,
and to
now
connect.
I'm already like, what's your Irish charm?
Anybody who's around me knows it.
Now,
right?
I'm like, okay, that sounds too good to want to know. What to tell you? Yeah, but what did I just do?
Connected with me.
I asked a question.
Yeah.
Do I know what Irish charm is?
Yeah.
I do not. I mean, I can put the words together to do something, but I don't know what it means to her, do I? So, what do you mean by Irish charm? Now the conversation's going. Keeps going. Good. Way more about Annie than I need to know, but what about the rest of you? Anything else? Annie?
The questions and strategies for engaging and getting into a networking group. Very helpful.
Yeah, if I go to a networking group where I absolutely know no one, I got to screw up the courage. Here at the chamber, I know most people. If I go somewhere new, I'm like, how did I just do it? Because at the end of the day, am I going to die? Is going a dog named Joy going to bite out my left ring finger? Any more? 2 more. Rachel.
I actually have a question for you. So, for example, I have a little bit of problem sometimes with rejections or objections. So I feel like that.
Well, which one? Rejection or objections? Or 2?
Both.
Okay, which one you
So-
talk about first?
I wanted to ask you, do you think it's beneficial to keep asking and be in front of that person again and again? Or will it be really, let's say, disgusting?
All right, so here, let me tell you about what objections are. Objections are not there. They're not real. Our job isn't to overcome the objections. Our job is to make sure that they learn that objections don't exist. So, will you role play with me, Rachel? What did you just say? Just answer the questions of this. So, what's something that you hear your prospects say that's an objection?
I deal with realtors all the time, and I already have somebody,
Okay.
or I'm not interested.
So, never tell her that when you talk to her later. Okay. Okay. So you have some. So what do you mean you have some?
Like they have a lender.
No, we're role
for
playing.
20 years.
You're the person.
Oh, me? Okay.
What do you mean you have some?
Oh, I have somebody I deal with for like 20 years.
20
And I'm not gonna
years.
change.
God. So in the 20 years you've been working with them, they made you 100% happy 100% of the time.
You know what? Yes.
And God bless you. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
But if she just said, well, what been the other response if I said 100% of the time happy 100% of the time? What's the other option? Well, no, I'm not there.
Most of the time, maybe they'll say.
Well, tell me about the most. What's the other part? What do you feel like they're not doing? Or they're not meeting your needs?
The fees are high.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah.
Now and then. Right? Would it make sense for us to talk about those fees, or should we just, let you stay with you?
Let's just say.
Right?
Then you're not gonna get in front of them again.
Because you're doing a forced choice, right? You're asking them to choose. Would it make sense for us to talk about how I can help your rates, or do you just want to stay with your guy? Whichever way you pick, I'm cool. The other thing is rejection is they're not rejecting you, so don't take it personally. I'm going to ask you a question, and my need for food is going to plummet. I mean, like a mustache. Oh, let me ask the other question. How many don't? Tom Crane, I never liked that. You and I were friends.
You look a lot younger without it.
You and I were friends.
Sorry, you have
right
voice like
this
a whole-
way. Not you, I'm not friends with Tom.
Shut
You hurt me.
it. Sorry.
But regardless of whether you like my mustache or don't like my mustache, that's about y'all, right? Not about me. I don't think anyone in my family likes it. But I didn't grow up for them in the first place, so I just grew up because I'm cool. I grew up for this reason. I want you to write this down too. Different is better than better.
Different is better than what?
Better.
Yeah. Well, I like you, I don't like the mustache.
We're good. We're tight.
It's also unique.
Well, that's the point. I think, are there more realtors out there in the world than you? Are there more bankers than you? Are there more accountants out than you?
Right.
Are there more accordion players than you? Or maybe not, I don't know. But there's more salespeople than me. But I'm gonna be different.
So do you think it's really important then to set yourself apart from someone else?
Not in any weird way, like I run a handlebar mustache. Ask them good questions.
And you're memorable, that's,
Ask them good questions, actually being interested in who you're talking to and accepting where they take you. Don't get in front of where they wanna go. They wanna go no, let them go no.
Just thinking of that, in a transition when I had been with Red Cross, volunteering on staff for about 21 years, and they eliminated my role, and I was really kind of traumatized. So I reached out to some major donors that know me for years and said, again, Mark, can you tell me, what do you think is unique about me? I didn't have the confidence, I didn't know what to say. It was really interesting when she said something to me I never thought of. She said, you're very curious. She said, you really asked me about me. She said, I had to wait to ask you about you. She said, she had a fourth child when she was 19. Her husband ended up getting married. It was a big story. And she said, really interested. It's a grandson. So it was interesting. So that, to me, asking someone about what gives you a unique quality, that really boosted my confidence. And then the other thing I would say was, just adding to this that I found is eye contact, because a lot of people in networking, they're looking around and stuff, but when you look at eye contact, you can really read them.
I mean, and Mary, that's so good to hear. I think that if we make it about them, this is never about us.
Exactly.
We talk about them, ask about them, look them in the eye, not look over their shoulder. Because you can tell, right? As soon as I see someone look over their shoulder, I start saying my hair is green and I eat dinosaurs, and then they don't know what I'm talking about because they're not listening. Right? And then I'll just move on. Right? Any other questions? One more thing for the good of the cause. Yes, we're going.
it's like having a plan
Having a-
for, coming in and, like you said, set a goal for 3 or whatever that goal might be, but I think that recipe is interesting.
Yeah, my dad used to say, if you aim at nothing, you're bound to hit. Make it something. And with that, my eternal gratitude for allowing me to spend a few minutes with your time. There were lots of places you could have been today, unless you just magically fell here and that's where you ended up. But could have been somewhere else, and I'm happy that you chose here. On behalf of Sandler, get the hell out and go to work.
Right.